Kingsmill Bond is an energy strategist at the think tank Rocky Mountain Institute. Good to see you. Welcome back to the programme. So China making these strides towards beating those targets on wind and solar energy. How significant could that be both for China and for the world?
This is a really pivotal moment because for China to achieve its 2030 goals by 2025 means to peak fossil fuel demand in the electricity system and indeed the entire system 5 years early. If they're right, it's incredibly important. And it's also important for the world because China is the pivot nation. OECD demand has been falling for 15 years. China is the second big piece of the puzzle. If China peaks, the world peaks. And that means we think 2022 is peak fossil fuel demand in the electricity system. This is key.
So China getting all these solar and wind farms up and running, but it's also increasing the number of coal plants, isn't it? Partly as a backup to these wind and solar farms. What does that mean for its target to reduce emissions?
So what's happening in coal is just a backup. And coal, let's be clear, they're spending money on coal, but it's 10 times less than what they're spending on wind and solar. And the coal is simply there as backup. So it's not actually the story at all. The story is building the new system, building the wind and the solar and the grids and the battery capacity. That's the really interesting thing that's going on here. And the faster that happens, the more and the quicker coal could get pushed out of the system.
So it has got all these new wind farms and solar panels up and running fast. How has it managed to do it so quickly?
Well, there are two things that China's got other people don't. One is they are the world's factory, and they produce almost all of the world's solar panels and a very large share of the world's wind turbines. Have got the lowest cost structure. And of course, in addition to that, the government is very good or very quick at deploying grids at speed. And the combination of those two things, the cheapest stuff and the fastest grids, means that they can act much more quickly than anyone else.
And what about storing and transporting this renewable energy? Currently, a bit of an issue around that, but how important will cracking that puzzle be?
Well, it is enormously important, and obviously the people who are planning the system have thought it all through. Well, not all of it, but they have been thinking it through. So as they build out these solar and wind farms in the north and the west, they're also building grid capacity to link it to the demand centres in the east. So the grids are being built quickly, and also the battery storage capacity to back this stuff up is also being built very quickly. So, as always, there's going to be teething troubles and issues in the build-out of the new system. But the extraordinary thing is that it is actually happening at scale.
Kingsmill Bond from the Rocky Mountain Institute. Good to talk to you. Thank you for joining us.